There was a time when Riot Games was Riot Game. With only League of Legends to their name, they didn't really live up to their title, but now it seems that Riot Games has truly earned its name, with popular releases such as Valorant, Legends of Runeterra, Wild Rift and TFT, all being popular online free-to-play games. The release of their Netflix show, Arcane, that became an immediate internet hit, giving us the opportunity for fans and even people who aren't invested in League of Legends to be involved with an emotional tale of popular characters and lore within the universe of League, with teasers of Project L, their fighting game prototype, and even the news of Convergence, their 2D side-scroller featuring Echo, and Song of Nunu, a third-person adventure game, both being in development. Riot are really going all out to make a variety of games across a variety of genres. You see, Riot Games has been manufacturing a sprawling universe of League of Legends full of captivating characters and interesting stories and lore for over 10 years now, with new entries and stories being released with every new character that enters the roster. For a long time, I've wanted the game to be set in the rich and beautiful universe of League of Legends. Now we have the opportunity, in the form of the Ruined King, a League of Legends story, an opportunity to delve deeper and see more of our beloved characters in a new light, in a way we don't get to see them normally. It might not be the League of Legends game I thought I wanted, but it most certainly is a League game I needed. Ruined King follows 6 of League's popular characters, Ahri, Yasuo, Illaoi, Braum, Pyke and Miss Fortune, as they work together to find the source of the Black Mist, an all-corrupting power that consumes everything it comes into contact with. Our heroes must work together to stop a second ruination. Ruined King is a turn-based role-playing game, much like Pokemon, or a better example would be Final Fantasy XIII. It has a top-down perspective when exploring the world, much like Darksiders Genesis. In fact, if you were to put these games side by side, you'd be mistaken for thinking they were the same game, made by the same people. What's this? Oh, they are made by the same people. You see, Riot Games didn't actually develop Ruined King, they just published it. Developer Airship Syndicate have made 2 other superb games before, Battle Chasers and Darksiders Genesis, the 4th entry into the Darksiders universe, in which I recommend you play those games because they're all fantastic. Link to my Darksiders 3 video in the description below. Shameless self-promotion out of the way, developers Airship Syndicate pretty much gave their existing games the fusion treatment. Battle Chasers is a turn-based role-playing game that is exactly, and I mean exactly, like Ruined King. Darksiders Genesis' style of cartoonish narration and top-down perspectives is exactly like what we get in Ruined King. But this isn't exactly a bad thing. If you've played either of Airship Syndicate's games, then you'll know that they're extremely high quality, produced, well-polished games that both look visually appealing but also feel fantastic to play. Ruined King, a League of Legends story, is no exception. Just before we get into it, there will be no major spoilers, as well as if you like the video so far, please consider subscribing and, well, liking the video. It just helps out a lot. As I briefly touched on before, the tale of Ruined King is of a second ruination, one that must be prevented by our heroes. The game takes place in the filthy city of Bilgewater, a pirate sanctuary located opposite the Shadow Isles that doesn't get its name for anything pleasant. Thankfully though, these locations are beautiful and charming to the eye, rich with detail and interesting environments that you're sure to get lost in. Attempting not to spoil anything, each of the characters are introduced individually and used in separate character arcs to ensure that you're never overwhelmed with choice, but rather it helps to create a bond between new party members and old ones. You begin to become more invested as each new character is added to the party. Be it coincidence or even fate, each member of the playable cast finds their destiny through struggle to overcome their past or present issues, making for a thrilling narrative experience that lets you truly connect with each character. For example, one of the first people we get to see struggle is Miss Fortune, as she faces the issue of assuming control of Bilgewater after the untimely death of the tyrant ruler, Gangplank. One of my favourite features of this game is the rest conversations you get to have with your party members. You get to see the roster of characters mingle and get to know each other. You get to see them bond and get closer to each one of them. I found myself constantly laughing at just about everything that came out of Braum's mouth, especially when he was interacting with Yasuo. It's like the loud, obnoxious kid talking to the quiet one. The beauty of Ruined King's story is truly the challenges that are faced along the way, characters sacrificing and changing throughout the journey, the fact that we get to see more of League's popular champs. I, for one, don't actually play any of these champions in League of Legends, but that didn't stop me from feeling invested and caring deeply about each of them. In fact, it kinda makes me want to play them more in League of Legends, but that's beside the point. Ruined King, a League of Legends story, is a superb narrative-driven game that gets you invested in each of its characters, their struggles, and everything that happens. The world is rich with detail and even subtle nods to other champions, such as everyone's favourite Toad, the River King, Tarm himself. I mean, that already makes the game a 10. But seriously, the story of Ruined King is a reason enough to play this game. Even if you're not really a fan or don't know much about League of Legends lore, this is still a fantastic story worth playing through. Ruined King, despite being distinctively different from League of Legends, does however have a top-down isometric view that you'll spend most of your time in, exploring Bilgewater and the Shadow Isles, both rich in details and stories to tell. You have the slums of Bilgewater and the Grove in the Shadow Isles, giving off entirely different feels to the rest of their respective region. The conversations between NPCs and the way NPCs move around in the world makes it feel like a living and breathing world. It just helps to immerse you further into the game and create a believable world that lives outside of the player's existence in it. There are a lot of different quests, secrets, and puzzles to delve into. For the most part, the side quests aren't too impactful. They often offer good loot, gold, and just more EXP, as well as immersing you further in the world. There aren't really any lengthy side quests where you go on entirely new adventures. They're more like mini quests to do along the way, and you don't even have to do them. The puzzles in this game are a bit of a disappointment. They're more like jigsaw puzzles where the game holds your hand as you place each piece into place, with only ever having to actually think maybe once or twice throughout your entire playthrough. And those times are still a bit of a stretch. They're rather straightforward puzzles to solve that don't really create much stimulus for thought. Each character has an ability that they can use outside of combat to either engage combat or to interact with the world, like finding secret doors in dungeons or opening hidden pathways. For example, Braum can use his strength to smash down certain walls, creating a pathway to a secret room. If you're someone like me who loves finding hidden loot or collecting as much as they can, you'll love the dungeons and exploration side of this game. Combat in this game is initiated through world encounters, where enemies will run at you and enter a battle state, much like running into an enemy in Final Fantasy or running into a trainer in Pokemon. You can of course enter combat on your own terms, by being the first to strike with your character's abilities, which does provide a unique bonus depending on the character you choose to attack with, which is a nice touch as it's something just to consider before entering a battle. In respect to the battles themselves, you have a range of basic attacks, stances, and spells to cast. Without getting too in depth with the combat, because we could be here for a very long time, each character has a few different roles that they can fill, such as DPS, tank, support, healer, much like League. The way you decide to use items and skill points will determine what role of character you want them to play in your team. For example, Alawi could be set up as a tank, a healer, or even just straight up damage. It's entirely on what items you choose to equip, what runes and abilities you decide to put points into. I personally made her a tank/support. Champions like Pyke though, who are traditionally DPS characters in League of Legends, can still be built in ways that support the team. Pyke has a plethora of different ways to provide debuffs on the enemies. helping you to get the edge in combat. In battle, you can only ever have 3 of the 6 playable characters, meaning you have to pick and choose your team wisely, as not having someone to tank or heal the team will make some of the boss fights throughout the game extremely challenging. But at the end of the day, you can play the game how you want to. If you want to have all DPS, you can have all DPS. There is nothing wrong with that. To make the combat more engaging than just being a turn-based game, it's more of a time-based game, where abilities and attacks take longer or less time to go off, generally based on how powerful they are. The stronger the ability, the more cast time it will take. But that also goes for the enemies, so it's about balancing what you use and when you choose to use it, which leads me to the game's lane system. There are speed, balance and power lanes that determine, well, the speed and power of an attack or spell. For example, using an attack in the power lane will take longer to go off, but of course deals more damage. Or maybe you need to get a quick heal off before the enemy's attack, so you use a heal in the speed lane. It won't heal as much, but at least you're able to get the heal off before the enemy attacks. The key to the combat system is using the different lanes to avoid debuffs and land your characters in buffs that increase their stats or provide unique bonuses for the given fight. I think Ruined King's combat is an exceptional system that is both simplistic to grasp and complex to master, which is all you can ever ask for from a combat system. It's enjoyable to use for all, and if you want to master it, it's a challenge as well. Ruined King, a League of Legends story, is a fantastic game that I could recommend more to both fans of League of Legends or even people who have never touched League of Legends in their life. Maybe you enjoyed the new Arcane show and wonder what all the fuss is about. Well, this is a way to get to experience League of Legends without actually playing League of Legends. Ruined King has a superb story that does a stellar job at getting you emotionally invested in the characters while also providing an engaging world to explore and discover. The combat is interesting, challenging and rewarding. I just think overall Airship Syndicate and Riot Games have done a phenomenal job with this title, and I'm looking forward to more League of Legends stories to come in the future. Thanks for watching. If you could like the video and subscribe, it would be greatly appreciated, as well as let me know your thoughts on the game in the comment section down below.